This information is to help you recognise early warning signs of an abusive relationship. All relationships should be free from abuse and violence, regardless of gender, language, sexual orientation, culture, religion, health, disability, socioeconomic background, or geographic location. Currently in Australia, there is a distinct gendered pattern to the perpetration and impact of violence. For example, both women and men are more likely to experience violence at the hands of men, with around 95% of all victims of violence in Australia reporting a male perpetrator. While men are more likely to experience violence by other men in public places, women are more likely to experience violence from men that they know, often in the home. The overwhelming majority of acts of domestic violence and sexual assault are perpetrated by men against women. LGBTQI couples experience the same or even levels of family violence, domestic violence, and intimate partner violence as heterosexual couples. This information has been prepared by the Huon Domestic Violence Service, the booklet Relationship Red Flags. A healthy relationship will never require you to sacrifice your dreams or your dignity. The following are 20 red flags that form a checklist of behaviours to explore further. 1. Blaming others for problems. 2. Blaming others for feelings. 3. Hypersensitivity. 4. Explosive temper, quickly changing moods. 5. Jealousy. 6. Controlling behaviour. 7. Quick involvement. 8. Unrealistic expectations. 9. Technology-assisted abuse. 10. Isolation. 11. Rigid gender roles. 12. Playful use of force in sex. 13. Cruelty to animals and children. 14. Lack of remorse. 15. Breaking or throwing, punching objects. 16. Verbal abuse. 17. Force and threats of violence during an argument. 18. Physical violence. 19. Financial abuse. And 20. A history of abusing others. Blaming others for problems. This is one of the first signs to look out for in a new relationship. An abuser tends to blame every mistake, failure, or mishap on others or the world at large. This could be blame on parents for a terrible childhood, an ex-partner, boss, neighbours, the system, or even fate for their situation. Someone is always doing them wrong, out to get them or provoke them. This person will also make mistakes and may blame their partner for upsetting them and keeping them from concentrating. The partner may feel like it's always their fault for almost anything that goes wrong. The person that blames problems on others often does not take personal responsibility, nor do they admit their faults and mistakes. Blames others for feelings. An abusive partner may use feelings to manipulate and will often play the victim. This person blames others for their own sense of inadequacy and unwillingness to take charge of their life. Eventually, they may blame their partner. Often this person's catch cry is, "You made me. You make me feel. I can't help feeling," being mad, being angry, unhappy, powerless, bad, violent, etc. Hypersensitivity. An abuser may appear to be easily insulted, feel constantly hurt, and take setbacks as personal attacks, seem very self-centered in their own needs, or fly into a rage when they experience hurt, fear, or loss of control of their partner. Explosive temper. Many partners become confused with their abuser's sudden change in mood. They may think the abuser has a mental health issue because one minute they are nice and the next minute they are exploding. They may rage out of control, but can maintain composure around others. Explosiveness and moodiness can be common traits for people who physically injure their partners. Jealousy. At the beginning of a relationship, an abuser may say that jealousy is a sign of love. Jealousy has nothing to do with love. It's a sign of possessiveness and a lack of trust. Some signs to watch out for are being jealous in front of friends, family, or co-workers, checking on their partner to make sure they are where they said they would be by texting or phoning frequently, driving by, dropping in unexpectedly, or getting someone else to check, insisting on accompanying their partner to keep an eye on them, or wrongly and frequently accusing their partner of flirting, being unfaithful, or seeing someone else. Controlling behaviour. At first, your partner will say this behaviour is due to their concern for your safety, your need to use your time well, or your need to make good decisions. Your partner may get angry if you're late coming back from a store or an appointment. They will question you closely where you went and with whom you talked to. As their behaviour progresses, they might not allow the person to make personal decisions about the house, the children, their clothing, or attending social groups. They might keep all of the money or even make you ask for permission to leave the house or a room. Quick involvement. Many abused partners dated or knew their abuser for less than 6 months before they were married, engaged, or living together. The abuser typically seems too eager, comes on like a whirlwind, and casts their partner as the love of their life. You're the only person I can talk to. I've never felt loved by anyone like this. Pressure may be felt to commit to the relationship in such a way that the person is made to feel very guilty about letting the other person down, or if they want to slow things down, lessen the intensity, or to break up. Unrealistic expectations. An abusive partner may demand their partner meet all their needs. This includes being the perfect partner, parent, lover, and friend. The partner will be expected to take care of everything and feel responsible for their emotional state. The abusive person will often have highly exaggerated, self-centered, and often unrealistic expectations and dreams of the future with their partner. Any threat to these dreams or expectations is a personal threat to the abuser. They will often feel betrayed and become dangerous. Technology-assisted abuse. Technology-facilitated domestic violence, or techno-abuse, provides abusers a persuasive way to control, coerce, stalk, and harass their victims. It includes a range of behaviours such as sending abusive text messages or emails, making continuous threatening phone calls, spying on or monitoring victims through the use of tracking systems, abusing victims on social media sites, and sharing intimate photos of the victim without their consent, or revenge porn. Isolation. The abusive person will try to cut their partner off from all resources. They will accuse people close to them of causing trouble. The abuser might move their partner or family away from support such as family and friends. Access to transport such as a reliable car might be denied. Family and friendship ties are often cut and access to employment or education might be denied. Rigid gender roles. The abuser expects the partner to serve them. They may say that the women's role is to stay home or the man's role is to go out to work. Often in this situation, the abuser will demand that their partner shows obedience and must not question decisions. Women are seen as inferior to men and are responsible for menial tasks. They may be told that they are stupid and are unable to be a whole person without their relationship. The use of force in sex. The abuser might throw their partner down and hold them down during sex. They may want to act out fantasies during sex where their partner is helpless or they find the idea of rape exciting. They may show little concern when their partner doesn't want to have sex and uses sulking or manipulation to obtain compliance. Sometimes the abuser will start having sex with their partner whilst they are asleep or demand sex when they are ill or tired. Cruelty to children and animals. The abuser may have very little patience with children and may expect them to be capable of things beyond their ability. 60% of men that physically assault women also physically hurt their children. They may punish animals brutally or be insensitive to their pain or suffering. They may threaten to hurt or kill the animal if their partner is trying to leave the relationship. Lack of remorse. The abuser may minimize their hurtful, abusive, or violent behavior. There is often a lack of concern shown for the other person's physical or emotional well-being. Breaking or throwing and punching objects. This behavior may be used to punish perceived resistance or disobedience and to terrorize the partner into submission. The abusive partner may beat on the table with their fists, throw or break prized possessions around or near their partner. They may punch holes in walls or doors. Verbal abuse. This can be seen when the abuser puts down their partner, uses crude language, swears, and runs down any of their accomplishments. They make jokes or act in ways that will shame, humiliate, degrade, or embarrass their partner, either privately or around family and friends. The abuser may shout and tell their partner that they are stupid, ugly, fat, crazy, that no one else would ever want them. They may pick fights for no apparent reason, show impatience and express negative, hostile, and aggressive emotions towards their partner. Force and threats of violence during arguments. During an argument, an abuser may hold the other person down, physically trying to stop them from leaving the room, or hold them against a wall and say something like, "You were going to listen to me." They may push or shove their partner and use threats of physical force meant to control, like, "I'll shut your mouth," or "I'll break your neck." Most people do not threaten their partners, but an abuser will try to excuse threats by saying everyone talks like that. After the abuse, they can change to being very loving, apologizing profusely, and saying it will never happen again. Physical violence. Physical abuse is any intentional and unwanted contact with you or something close to your body. Sometimes abusive behavior does not cause pain or even leave a bruise, but it's still unhealthy. Examples of physical abuse include scratching, punching, biting, strangling, kicking, pulling your hair, throwing something at you such as a phone, book, shoe, or plate, pushing or pulling you, grabbing at your clothing, using a gun, knife, box cutter, bat, or other weapon. Financial abuse. Financial abuse can be very subtle. At no point does someone you're dating have the right to use your money or decide how you spend it to control you. Examples of financial abuse include giving you an allowance and closely watching what you buy, placing your pay in their account and denying you access to it, keeping you from seeing shared bank accounts or records, forbidding you to work or limiting the hours of work that you do, preventing you from going to work by taking your car or keys, getting you fired by harassing you, your employer or co-workers on the job, taking your money or spending it excessively on your credit card without permission, and refusing to give you money for food, rent, medicine, or clothing. A history of abusing others. In some cases, the abuser will only have a couple of red flags, or they have more, and often these behaviors are exaggerated. An abuser will often try to explain away the behavior as a sign of love and concern. Often the other person will be flattered at first, but as time goes on, the behavior may become more severe and serve to dominate and control. Often the abused partner will hear themselves saying, "I don't like this or that about them, but they have so much potential." Or they may find themselves thinking or saying, It will be different after we're married. They may find themselves covering up the abuser's behaviour from friends, family, and relatives, or believing that their love will make them change. Abuse is never your or their fault, and it can be hard to end the relationship for many reasons, including safety. If you or a friend are experiencing any of the red flags, confide in a friend or reach out for support from services that specifically deal with family and domestic violence. If you believe a friend or relative is being abused, offer your non-judgmental support and help. What to do and how to help. First, you need to know that you're not alone and that the abuse is not your fault. If you are in an abusive relationship or think someone close to you is, accessing safety and support is critical. Someone who is abusive is usually very good at isolating their partner from family and friends. So someone being abused often begins to feel ashamed and alone, thinking that no one would understand. Many survivors have described feeling as if they didn't know who they were anymore, and this makes it even more difficult to survive the abuse and sort through the feelings and make decisions that will be best for you and your children. If you don't have anyone to talk to or would like to speak to someone confidentially, there are many services that can assist. In a crisis or an emergency, always call 000 000. But if you or a friend is experiencing an abusive relationship, contact a specialist family violence service for further information and access to resources. In Tasmania, the Family Violence Counselling and Support Service phone number is 1800 608 122. 1800 608 122.